Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. Oh, Game Freak. So many issues are going on here in terms of Pokemon, and as a fan myself. Now, if you know me, because I have a lot to say here, we're going to go over the news, but if you know me, you know that I have done competitive Pokemon for a long, long time, since Generation 2 of Pokemon. Now, of course, I've been a fan of Pokemon since Generation 1. I started with Red, and been a fan since then. Loved Pokemon, enjoyed the games. Personal opinion. I mean, it's had its issues here and there from time to time, but Pokemon overall, I think, has been a great franchise. But yesterday, Pokemon was trending. #1, and it was under hashtag Game Freak lied. Now, Newsweek had an article that I wanted to talk about here involving this entire situation because many fans are very upset, and we're going to go into a lot of that, and I'm going to give a lot of my personal opinions here because, as someone who's played Pokemon since the beginning and also competitive as well, there's a lot I have to throw my input on in here as well. So, let's go ahead and get started with the article. With Pokémon Sword and Shield releasing in just a few days, a new wave of Twitter animosity has hit the shores of Galar. Hashtag Game Freak Lied has been spreading like wildfire on the social media platform, trending #1 worldwide with over 40,000 tweets decrying the latest Pokemon title and what fans perceive to be deception from its developer. So what exactly did Game Freak lie about, and why are some fans so agitated? So back earlier this year at E3, of course there was a big Pokemon presentation, and they showed off some of the gameplay. So during the Nintendo Treehouse at E3, Junichi Masuda, one of the directors of the game, he's been a longtime director, many people know who he is. He stated that not every single Pokemon would be in the game. That sparked a lot of issues right then and there already. So it was already bad enough. And then, of course, as time continued to go on, people were having issues with the animations of the game, and many problems stemmed from there. Well, it seems that people have been data mining the games and have actually found the in-game sprites for Bulbasaur's evolutionary line, as well as Squirtle's evolutionary lines. Other Pokemon like Kyurem and Incineroar have also had their coding in the game, but they are not actually going to be present within the game. So many people are very furious over this. So let's continue with this article, and I will continue to talk more about my opinions on this. Hashtag Game Freak Lied explained. In June of 2019, Game Freak's Junichi Masuda and Shigeru Omori said in an interview with Famitsu that Pokemon Sword and Shield would not be reusing assets from previous titles for this iteration of the monster collecting scenes, causing the previously established Pokemon bank features to not work as intended. This means many hopeful trainers wouldn't be able to use monsters that had been part of their parties for decades. This fact alone gave rise to the Dexit boycott, and now it appears the developers' rationale for the controversial decision may not be entirely true. The game itself isn't out until Friday, but a data leak of the in-game assets and models has already surfaced online, giving eager fans a chance to dig through the code. Yes, so many people supposedly have been digging through the coding of the games. They've been finding that the models apparently are just reused, a little more updated, but they're just the same reused ones from Sun and Moon and also from X and Y. So we're going all the way back to 2013 in terms of the same models being used. After digging through the models for Sword and Shield, some vocal fans claim to have found proof that the assets for the monsters were actually roused from previous games like Sun and Moon. Members of the Pokemon subreddit have looked at the wireframing of some of the newer and older models, which seem to be the same for both old and new versions. The polygonal triangle count, or the wireframe mesh that makes up these beasts, is nearly identical to each model. So it seems that how they said they had to remake the models from scratch seems to be a lie from what data miners are saying. So seeing that this is turning out to be more and more true from what people are saying, it doesn't look good. Game Freak cutting some corners here, and it's got many fans upset. I mean, many fans were already upset to know that some of their favorite Pokemon weren't going to be in the game already enough as it is, but to now see that things really haven't changed all that much, it's not looking good. So here's a tweet from someone here. Blazing Flare had to say, I've been going through the returning Pokemon models in Sword and Shield and comparing them to the ones from Sun and Moon, and so far every model I've checked has unsurprisingly been 100% identical. Ooh. Seeing that doesn't sound very good. Doesn't sound very good at all. Data miners have found a few inconsistencies with that theory, showing minor changes to Arcanine, Machamp, and Noibat. Still, it does seem to fans who are already outraged about the game's lackluster textures and reused animations that this is a blatant breach of trust from Game Freak. On Tuesday night, Reddit user Big Hail Fan proposed a hashtag to get the wider community to notice the issue. Over the next 12 hours, the Game Freak lied hashtag would spread like wildfire and trend around the globe. The Pokemon sub is full of people discussing the hashtag success and expressing their anger over Game Freak's decisions for their title. This new hashtag arrives less than a week after hashtag Thank You Game Freak trended on Twitter in response to all the hate the company was receiving from fans for problems like these. Well, they also forgot about the other hashtag, hashtag FU Game Freak. That was another one, but yeah, that's another one that's trending as well. No joke, you can look it up; it's real. And many people are upset, and understandably so. I mean, who really wants cut content from their games? I mean, I know I don't. And this is definitely something that feels like a breach of trust. I can't deny it. So here is another one. Now, this is a collaboration of a lot of people making memes and saying a lot of different things. And this is what this person had to throw out there. Hello, hashtag Game Freak lied. If you're not sure what they lied about, have a look right here. And then, of course, you have like the models being 100% identical, remake models, and then you have remake models and all these things. People have been saying a lot, and they've been really trying to say, hey, Game Freak, listen, please, we're the fans, and we don't agree with this. Pokemon fans can tend to be some of the most fanatical because, what, really? Okay. The franchise is strongly tied to nostalgia. Playing every game in a franchise for over a decade creates a bond with the virtual monster battler. Other movements like Dexit, inspired by the removal of over half the species of Pokemon from Sword and Shield, show just how much the fans care about the franchise. Lashing out at a company that's forced to turn over a new entry every year and endure crunch might feel good at first, but it solves very little in the long term. That's the thing though. Criticism is not lashing out. Criticism is trying to help improve. I don't think a lot of people nowadays know what criticism is. I think a lot of people just try to push it out because they just don't want to hear it. Because they think that they're good the way they are rather than trying to improve. I wonder how that sounds familiar. Rest your teeth! Miles and carry! Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me right there. Felt like something very familiar to me came up there. I don't know what happened. It's unlikely that hashtag Game Freak lied will impact the sales of Sword and Shield at all. The game is already a top seller on Amazon, and the game's largely young fan base will still buy it. I don't know. I wouldn't exactly say that just yet, because, you hop over to Twitter and you take a look at some of the things people are saying. I don't know. You don't just have children who are buying this game, There are adults that buy this game, too. I mean, look at some of these tweets here. Pokemon deserves the same quality of every other AAA game. After playing Luigi's Mansion 3, Sword and Shield looked like an absolute joke, not to mention I want all my Pokemon back. Agreed. And then another person, me climbing up ladders in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and then it shows Dio using Zebaldo! I love it. Oh, it's fantastic. Hashtag Game Freak lied. Well, guess I'm not getting a Switch or the new Pokemon game. Yikes. Yikes, Game Freak. If you have people saying stuff like this, that tells you something. That is not good. That means you're turning off potential buyers. Now this tweet, this was funny to me. No, I'm not ready. Look at this. And then it shows a Wailord from Pokemon Battle Revolution. And then you have Wailord in Sword and Shield. And the Wailord, okay, so Wailord is 47 feet and 7 inches, and here it is smaller than the trainer in Sword and Shield. Oh, that doesn't look good at all. Oh, even I'll admit that's not good. That's not accurate. Hashtag Game Freak lied. Remember that Junichi Masuda himself once said this about transferring older Pokemon. This didn't age well. And don't you ever think, let's make our lives easier by cutting the least popular Pokemon out of the franchise? And then this is Masuda's response. I think one of the joys of Pokemon is being able to use your favorite Pokemon from the blue and red versions all the way through to the newest iteration. So no, I don't think we could do that. Oh. That doesn't look like a good statement. Oh, because going back to Ruby and Sapphire, it was the first time you couldn't transfer Pokemon over, and of course they made Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, and Pokemon XD, because, yeah, while they had 135 new Pokemon and Ruby Sapphire in those games, yeah, not everybody's favorite Pokemon were there, and that was just Gen 3, and of course they changed that to make sure that everybody's favorite Pokemon like Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, the others from the Kanto region, and many other Pokemon from other regions could be back. Generation 4 made the PAL Park, which was post-game, so you were able to get your previous Pokemon from Generation 3 back into Generation 4. And then, of course, Generation 5 had the Transfer Lab, where you could actually transfer your Pokemon through the Transfer Lab. Now, Gen 6, of course, it started off because of the Pokemon Bank. You know, that was going to be their way to transfer your Pokemon from Generation 5 to Generation 6. I remember we had to wait 4 months until February 4th of 2014 just for Pokemon Bank to work because the Nintendo Network ID crashed the system, and you know many people were without having that whole Pokemon Bank system to transfer. I remember that. I remember that big issue, and I remember having to trade for other Pokemon that some people were lucky enough to get the Pokemon Bank app already and then transfer them over. And now, of course, Generation 7, it was the first time there was actually not a national dex, and therefore also the first issue really then came in because while not every Pokemon was recorded in the Pokedex, you could still have them though. You just didn't have dex data entries for them. Now, of course, then what happens after that? Well, next thing to happen after that is this whole debacle. Game Freak comes up with the Pokemon Home idea, so you can transfer everything to Sword and Shield and other future iterations that will be on the Switch. But this is where the problem then comes in, because they said that the Pokemon that will go to Pokemon Home will be locked in Pokemon Home until a game releases that they will be able to be in. See, that worries me already, because even when that was brought up, I thought, oh no, that's not good. And they even stated they don't plan to bring any other Pokemon from the past into Sword and Shield, so that's already an issue. So, what this does is this alienates an audience. Of course, while Charizard is one of my favorite Pokemon, I'm glad to see it return, but another one of my favorite Pokemon, Garchomp, for example, is not, that I know of, currently returning. And to see that, that makes me feel alienated because one of my favorite Pokemon I'm not going to be able to use. And there are many other people out there that have complained about not having Pokemon of theirs be in the games. With them not being in the games, it alienates your audience because many people have many different favorite Pokemon. And considering that 807 Pokemon have currently been able to be within the games, of course, not counting the new Pokemon, so excluding those, Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was able to have 807 Pokemon total. And even Mega Evolutions were there. Now that they're changing things out for a new mechanic, and now that they are also excluding Mega Evolutions, which some of my favorite Mega Evolutions will be gone. Not only this, but Mega Evolutions made a lot of Pokemon that were not good actually competitively viable. It made them a lot more powerful. Isn't that right, Kangaskhan? Hence why you had that, nerf in Generation 7. Parental Bond. Busted ability. But the thing is, by taking out content, because let's be real, nobody wants cut content. By taking out content for a game, well, for one, you're alienating your audience with favorite Pokemon being cut out, but at the same time, people expect a great product, and by cutting content, that really devalues the product. While I myself am going to get Sword and Shield still regardless, it does cut down on my excitement because many Pokemon that I enjoy, I can't transfer them over. I can't use them competitively. I can't use them like I would. And I have to wait until future installments come out. It's not really fair to the fans. And of course, there are people out there like Polygon who try to say that we're entitled. We aren't entitled. We love Pokemon. And, everybody has their favorites. I have my favorites just as much as other fans have their favorites too, for multiple different reasons, whether it be competitive, whether it be just casually. People have their favorite Pokemon for whatever reason that they do. And to see things get cut, well, for one, just cut content's never a good thing. To see that these models are surfacing and see that they're actually in the coding of the game, this doesn't help Game Freak. This doesn't make them look any better. And, fans are showing their outrage and how upset they are because cuts are happening. Now, whether it be because of crunch time, whether it be whatever reason they come up with, it just seems like there have been so many lies that have been thrown in there now, and it really hurts the fans because fans expected to see their favorite Pokemon return, and not seeing that really hurts them. Honestly, this feels very bittersweet because, okay, well, we're getting a new game, yay, but at the same time, the cost of over half of the Pokemon, that's not good. That's not something people want to hear. And cut content, that's never a good thing. That's why I celebrated over Fairy Tail and them keeping fan service in their new game, because they're trying to appeal to fans. If only more companies would listen to the fans, I think that a lot of things would be a lot better and a lot smoother in terms of video games and trying to give them fan service. And, I gotta say, I myself not getting to see a lot of my favorite Pokemon, which it sucks, but it's something that I have to accept for these games. I mean, like I said, it just brings out some of my excitement. I mean, I'm still excited, but it's bittersweet. It's a bittersweet one in the end. And this is something Game Freak that they need to fix in the future. Mega Evolutions, Z-Moves, even though I wasn't a big fan of Z-Moves. I think that they need to return. I think all the Pokemon need to return. I don't think Pokemon need to be cut. I think that rather than alienating your audience, add all the content. Don't throw it out. Keep it all in. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below, and share the video. Let's try to spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today, and remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.